Cheltenham Festival 2025, day 2 tips. Today I'm joined with Joe Norris from Getyourtipsout. So Joe, let's jump straight into the first race.
Yeah.
Who you fancying for the first race on day 2?
Yeah, so obviously after the DRF I was really quite taken by Final Demand, and this was sort of the plan after that. But he's been a bit uneasy in the betting the last couple of days. Now, I thought this was partly because the ground's drying out, and obviously maybe they think he needs softer ground. But I know you think this, that they've heard a few murmurs saying it could go to the Albert Bartlett now.
Yeah, I
Um,
just I just think that with Yellow Clay so-called going for the Turners and the New Lions definitely going for the Turners,
yeah,
then he'll be clear favourite. And with the drying ground, he probably wants that longer bit of a distance. So
yeah.
I don't think he'd be running in it, and I think that's where you might find some value backing one or two of them now if he does go for the Albert Bartlett on the Thursday. So I
Yeah, I
quite
mean,
fancy Yellow Clay each way. That's my play in the race.
yeah, like I do. It's a tricky one because if he does go for it, I think he wins. I still think he wins.
Yeah,
There will be the doubt about the ground, but he's got such a big stride. This horse, I think once he gets going, I don't think the ground will stop him. Like I have my doubts over the new lion. I just visually, obviously, he's looked really impressive, and when he won the Challow, he was impressive, beating Wendigo. But I'm not sure the form is there, and I just think the Irish horse has got so much more potential. But I completely agree with you. I'm a big fan of the Yellow Clay. I actually backed him anti-post for the Albert Bartlett. So I was really hoping he was going there because this race was looking so hot. I thought Elliot will definitely send him to the Albert Bartlett. I mean, the fact that he's still putting him in this race is probably a tip in itself. It probably tells you how much he actually rates this horse. Now, my way to play this will be see what Final Demand does. I mean, if Final Demand goes for Albert Bartlett, I'll be all over the Yellow Clay.
yeah.
But if Final Demand comes here, I think I still have to back him because I still think he is sort of like the star quality in the race.
It'll just be crazy because if both Yellow Clay and Final Demand both run in the Turners,
Yeah,
that's first and second favourite out of the Albert Bartlett. So
yeah,
I think one of them will go for the Albert Bartlett. I don't know which one. I think
yeah,
Final Demand only because I feel on the drying ground he'd be able
yeah,
to go up in distance, and I think it might be a
yeah,
bit too sharp for him on the Turners. But you just never know. You never know what they're going to be doing. So, what
yeah.
about the second race then? Ballyburn, obviously last year, one of your naps of the meeting.
Yeah,
Julie obliged. Are you thinking that he's going to be another nap selection for you at Cheltenham Festival?
he definitely will be. I'm still a big believer in this horse. I couldn't believe really how quickly people seemed to give up on him when he got beat by Segino. I heard some people were saying, "Oh, he needs to come back over hurdles." To me, it just looked like he just completely got taken off his feet. Like it looked like he was running over the wrong trip, but that was probably a combination of running on faster ground over the wrong, over 2 miles, which probably just caught him out. Obviously, he went back up in trip at Leopardstown in softer ground, and then we saw what he's capable of. That briefly looked race on, but you look how he picks up away from the last, and he ends up winning by 5 lengths. And Croke Park is no mug; like he's not a bad horse at all.
Yeah.
So I can't see how he gets beat here. I think Dancing City's his stable mate. Is a good horse in his own right, but I think he definitely relies on well heavy ground really to be at his best. He's all about stamina, whereas I think Ballyburn can handle this faster surface, and he just looks a cut above anything else. You look down the list: Gorgeous, Tom, Lecky, Watson, Stella Story. I just don't think any of them are good enough to get near him. So yeah, I'll definitely be Ballyburn backer again.
Yeah, likewise, mate. I can't really disagree with you on it. I think he's
Yeah,
going to end up odds on. I can't believe he's still 64.
Yeah, crazy.
then yeah, he's definitely going to end up odds on for sure.
Yeah, I think it's only the ground really that why he's an odds on. I think.
Yeah. Potentially, yeah, but
Yeah,
I think it's a no-brainer to go with Ballyburn in the second. What
yeah,
about the third then? Obviously, it's quite an open race. The Coral
yeah,
Cup,
yeah.
a great kind of bet for a lot of the bookies pay top 7 places and stuff like that. What's your thoughts in this one?
Yeah, so obviously, it's a really tricky race. I did get stuck into it the other night, and I was really looking at the trends. Henderson's targets this race quite a lot, so I was sort of looking at his runners. And Imposed Trois really caught my eye. That's probably pronounced wrong. Imposed, I don't know. Imposed Trois, the
Yeah,
McManus horse, anyway. Um, Now it's got quite an interesting profile. Like obviously, won at Newbury last time, beat Guard the Moon, was held up. I think in this race, I think you do want one that can come off the pace, because this is the race where they sort of. I think they get when they're heading to the last, there'll still be about 7 or 8 jumping it together, and then it's away from the last. You always get that one that sort of gets up late. And I think this horse it's got the right profile coming into it, and it looks like it could potentially have quite a bit in hand. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, it's around 12 to 1, which seems a good price to me.
yeah,
Obviously, be aware now. I have got unfinished business with this horse because I backed it for the Greatwood, and it obviously got beat a neck by Burnett Road. So I was absolutely gutted because I was on it at a really good price. Things haven't really gone to plan since then, but they've probably had this race in mind all season long, really. So he would have to be feared. But obviously he's like 6 to 1, which just seems too short. I actually had a look at another Skelton runner. I'm just checking to see if he's still in there. Um, Santos Blue it was. I don't know if he might have not made it. No, I don't think he made it. Yeah, so I mean, for now, I've only backed this Henderson horse Impo Trois, but I definitely will have another bet on the day in the race as well.
yeah. I'm in the camp of Joseph O'Brien Comfort Zone at 12 to 1, 14's in
Yeah,
places. I think he'll like the drying ground, and I think he's got a great chance. It's one of them
yeah,
where you could be back in 2 or 3 in the race,
yeah,
paying for 7 places, extra places and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm in the camp of Joseph O'Brien and Comfort Zone as a bit of an each way shot.
yeah.
But what, what
We're both on McManus horses then.
yeah, both on a McManus horse. Yeah. What about in the cross country then? In the next race, who are you fancying in this?
So cross country, I never have a strong opinion on the cross country. I mean, it's a race I like watching, but it goes on forever, doesn't it? It goes on for like six,
Yeah,
7 minutes. I mean, yeah, I think Stumptown, on what I've seen, is really hard to oppose. I mean,
yeah,
he always had a touch of class, didn't he, over fences? I remember him winning at Sandown a couple of years ago now, and he was really impressive. Um, Landed a bit of a gamble that day, I think, from memory. And obviously, he's done really well, really, since he's gone over like cross country, won twice at Punchestown, and then obviously at Cheltenham last time. So I think he's hard to pick holes in. But again, the ground is a little bit of a worry with him
yeah,
because if you look at his form, most of it is on softer ground.
yeah,
Um, I think when he won at Sandown, when he won at Sandown, I think it was good ground. So that actually shows that at least he can handle it. But yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are. I just wouldn't have a massively strong opinion really.
I quite fancy Galvin, second favourite.
How old is he's an 11-year-old now,
He's
right?
an 11-year-old. He's ran once this year, come second. It was a good race. On the drying ground, I think Galvin will win. Um,
I really struggle to back horses when they hit like 10 or over.
I just think
I
he's a
don't know
cut
what it is,
above.
but
I think he's a cut above Stumptown.
yeah,
Um, I just think he's different class, even as an 11-year-old.
yeah,
He's lightly raced. Do you know what I mean? He only ran 4 times last year. He's only had
yeah,
one race this year and stuff like that. So they've well looked after him.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Obviously, Mr. Coffee definitely has to come into it because
Yeah.
When the French horse won at the November meeting, I was there that day,
Yeah.
and he really caught the eye. I thought the way he finished, he was like the closer. I know he was beat 6 lengths, but he was the closer.
Yeah.
And then he backed that up, running on again behind. He was only beat a length by Stumptown.
Yeah.
So you look at that form. I mean, Stumptown's 9-4, Mr. Coffee's 7-1.
Yeah.
Now I'm pretty sure down the years, Mr. Coffee was one of them horses that just finished second, and third. So that would be the worry. That does he really want to win? You know.
Yeah.
So that is probably why he's 7-1 and not shorter. But if you wanted to have like a place bet in the race, I think he's absolutely nailed on.
Yeah. So
Just
what about in the big one in the next race?
In the big one,
Queen Mother.
Yeah, I'm going to take on John Bon.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't done anything wrong this season, so it's hard to try and get him beat. But he's been to the festival for the last 2 years, and he's been beat both times.
Yeah.
All 3 of his defeats have come at Cheltenham. I just don't think he's as good at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Obviously, he won at Cheltenham on reappearance in the Schlur, but he beat Boot Hill a length and a half, and visually it looked quite a poor performance, I thought.
Yeah.
I know it was his first run back, obviously, so he's entitled to need it. But I respect him, and if he goes and wins, fair play to him. But I just think the price is just shocking.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his form, it is unbelievable. He's never been out the first 2. He's unbelievable. Like, his form is unbelievable. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
his losses have been at Cheltenham, which is kind of puts me off. And I feel like
I think this is like I think people are looking at this black and white. Like they're looking at the form,
yeah,
and they're saying, "Oh, he's won 17 races from 20.
Yeah,
Like he's got nothing to beat here. He's going to win."
yeah,
But you go back and watch all these wins. Like, to be honest, the Ascot win last time over Energumene was his best performance for a long time. But that came at Ascot, not at Cheltenham. He's much better suited by Ascot than he is at Cheltenham.
yeah.
And there's quite a few angles going on in this race. Like, if the French horse comes here, there's going to be a mad pace on because he'll go
Do you
forward.
think the French horse does come and run here in this race?
What I was hearing last week, it sounds a lot like he will.
Yeah.
He's drifted slightly since.
I don't think he'll like the ground though.
I mean, I'm not. I'm against him anyway because he's bled in the past, and I don't like backing horses that have bled in the past. I think it's
Yeah.
But if he comes here, he's gonna make the race a lot of pace on in the race because you've got Solness obviously who's gonna go crazy off the front as well.
Yeah.
And the one, so I quite liked Gaelic Warrior, right? Even though he ran a stinker in at the DRF, but obviously we found out today that he's come out, so he's gone.
Yeah.
So my angle was I was going to back Gaelic Warrior and Energumene because I think Energumene at Cheltenham could definitely make more of a race of it with John Bon than he did at Ascot, right? But then you've not got the ground because the ground's going to be quicker, so that's a worry.
Yeah.
The more I look at this race, the more I know you're probably going to laugh. The more I'm warming to Marine Nationale.
Right. Okay.
Because right, obviously, since he was a novice, right, he's not gone on with it, has he, over fences? Like he won the Supreme, didn't he? And he looked like he could be like absolute future star when he won that.
Yeah.
But I do feel like he's gradually coming back to some to the form that he used to be in. Like that run against Solness last time, he looked like he was going to win. Then he sort of didn't pick up. But then if you look at the end, he's sort of closing quite quickly on him again.
Yeah.
So I feel like he is actually finding off the bridle and he is actually seeing his races out a little bit better now.
Yeah.
We know that we know he likes Cheltenham. Obviously, having won the Supreme, I know he's over fences here. But I just feel like if they go really hard, he could be the one that picks up the pieces.
Yeah.
And he's around 11-2, which I think he'd be the one that they come for on the day. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be in the camp of. I think John Bond's going to come off 8-13, 4-7. I think he's going to get backed in to be
Do you?
quite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to get pretty short myself, just because of like what you said, black and white, first, second, first. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's going to look at the form and say, "Oh, he wins this in a canter."
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going with a bit of an outsider. I'm kind of in the camp of Gordon Elliott. I think he's going to have a good Cheltenham. I'm going to go and found a 50 each way.
Yeah.
At 14s. Won the first three, start of the year, was brilliant. Pulled up last
Yeah.
time out. God knows it's come out saying he's back to where he was. Drying ground, I think, goes against quite a lot of him. Not as much for Founder 50, but like in
Yeah.
Ergamine wants heavy ground. So I just feel I can't kick him out the first three. And if
Yeah.
John Bond does end up falling or something happens to him, I think he could end up then being a great shout at 14-1. I think he gets
Yeah.
I think he gets a place, but something could happen in the race, and at 16-1, I think it's a good price.
It's not a crazy bet at all, honestly, because you've only got to look back through recent years from the upsets that have happened in this race to know. You know, like even the likes of like Duvan have got beaten this down the years. So, you know, you look at his form. Obviously, he was second to Gaelic Warrior in the Arkle, wasn't he, last year?
Yeah.
Which was a good run. And then he went to Aintree and beat Master Chewy, which was decent. I didn't actually realise that he went off 4-1 joint favourite for that race where Solness won.
Yeah.
Where he pulled up.
Yeah.
So they sort of something must have gone wrong in that race for him to pull up, having been back like that.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I wouldn't put you off, mate. 16-1, 18-1 with William Hill. I mean, that's a big price.
Yeah. What about the next one? The Grand Annual Chase. What are you thinking with this one?
So I haven't touched on this race too heavily yet. It just looks wide open. Like I do quite like Unexpected Party, like mainly because I was on him last year.
Yeah.
When he won at I think we got him at 25-1 last year, so that was massive. Obviously he's higher in the weights, but he finished second to Matata, didn't he, at Windsor? So that worked. He's in good form, I think. And like it's the Skeltons, they would have like targeted him at this again, wouldn't they? So
yeah,
like I've definitely got him on my radar. But yeah, there was another one in here I was looking at the other day as well. The Emmett Mullins runner, So Scottish.
Yeah.
Now he ran an absolute stinker at Leopardstown last time, so you've got to forgive him that. But if you look at his overall profile, he's got some good form. Like he was second to the Wall Park, and if you look back further when he won, he was quite impressive. I think he is definitely one that could be smuggled in here. I think off his mark.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find what price he is for the race.
10-1.
Is that all he is?
Yeah, he's so Scottish.
Yeah, I thought he'd be bigger than that. See,
no, he's been backed in all week. He was like 16-1 at the start of the week. Yeah. I'm in the camp of on this one, Gavin Cromwell's my mate Mozzie. Third and second, like over the jump, second at Leopardstown, but then they've been keeping him fit on the flat as well. So I think he comes here primed and fit, and well, they're all going to be fit. But I mean, like, I think he's got a little bit up his sleeve, to be honest.
He's a strong, really strong travelling horse, isn't he? From memory.
Yeah.
So you'd think like the big field would really suit him.
Yeah. So I mean, Gavin Cromwell is where I think he picks up on that one. But then what about the Champion Bumper? So I've got quite good form in the Champion Bumper. Last 3 years I've had the winner of it. So
yeah.
What are you thinking in the Champion Bumper?
I think you should go first, mate, because I think you know my stance on bumpers. I just rarely ever bet on them.
Have you had a look at any of them in the race?
I've not looked at it. I rarely even watch bumpers through the season. So like I never have a strong view on it. I just think they're an absolute lottery. Like you tend to do well with them, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it is one of them that there's normally 10 horses in there that are all unbeaten. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but the only reason why I kind of do well is that I hear early on, like a couple of months before, this horse is going in, and I normally end up going, I'm going to back it for Cheltenham. If it's going to go in and it's going to win convincingly,
Yeah.
and they normally do, they normally win with 15 lengths, then you normally then at that point saying, well, I may as well back it for the champion bumper as well, because it's going to
Yeah.
have its kind of odds slashed, which
Yeah.
is kind of what I did with Jasmine DeVoe last year, and I got it like, I think it was like 33-1 or something like that. They got it at.
Yeah. You was even telling me, I think when it was like 8, you were like, you can still get on. It's still 8-1. I didn't listen, did I?
It went into like 4-5-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I can't go past the Mullins horse at the top. Copacabana.
Yeah.
I think he was very impressively when he ran. Before the race, he was very well touted. They were saying he's going to be the favourite for the bumper even before he ran, and he won convincingly. And he's now at the head of the market. I know it's a pretty boring show, but I got him at 8-1. I think he's into 7-2.
Nice.
And I
Did
think
you see Game of Inches, how that won though as well?
yeah, it was was unbelievable. That was another one that was like,
it was as if they were standing still, wasn't it? When he came. But then I suppose when I was watching that live, I remember thinking, as he beat absolute trees though, you know? It felt a bit like it. It felt a bit like it. Whereas I think Copacabana actually felt like a much better race.
Yeah.
So that's definitely in your favour, because obviously, you know, it's probably stronger form. I think the third Coyote Spirit for Elliot, I thought looked quite a nice horse, like in the prelims and that.
Yeah.
And it had experience on side, and he still thrashed that 5.5 lengths. So
yeah.
I think
I had a good bet in it, and I think it was 5-2, 9-4, something like that on his run. He was favourite, like, but I had a good bet in it then as well. And then
that's a good sign as well, don't you think? When they're well backed, and then they're impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know what price Game of Inches was when that 8 to 15. To be fair,
it was well, but it was well.
But that tells you the quality of that race was
a
lot poorer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of everything on day 2. So what's your nap of the day then on day 2? Have you got one?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I would say the nap will be Ballyburn.
Yeah, I'm with you on the camera. I think the day 2's a good day for outsiders and each way bets and getting the extra place kind of each way. I think there's a lot of big races in there. I think there's going to be on day 1, there's going to be a load more favourites going in. Day 2, apart from Ballyburn, there could be 1 or 2 upsets, I feel. So it is one for each way, I'd say, on day 2 of Cheltenham Festival. So anyone who's watching this, let us know your thoughts. Who are your tips for day 2 racing of the Cheltenham Festival?